Well, we are back with you once again on another Johnny Torch Live broadcast. Let's see, what is it? Broadcast number 219. Torch News Roundup number 262. We bring to you a Torch News Roundup here in the middle of the week. I know I owe it to you guys. I want to make sure I treat my fans right. It's been a couple of weeks, I think, since we did a Torch News Roundup. I had the time to do one this afternoon or early evening now. But I got to tear myself away from production on the book. And that's something that I don't like to do. But at the same time, I have my obligations. While we're talking about that, let's take a look at our most recent effort. This is issue number 9, Casebook 9, as we call them, of The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, yours truly's all-ages action-adventure extravaganza. And I am just so proud of this story. I started off with it being a little trepidatious. I won't I won't mince words. I'll use the $10 words. I was a little trepidatious about this story. It goes a little bit darker than we usually do. A little more violent, perhaps. But it was dealing with some really important and interesting things I felt needed to be said with the character of Bullets Bourbon. We sort of follow him through his character arc. And like I said, that's not something that can be easily done usually with a ongoing series, that you can give a compelling character arc to your main character. But in this case, I felt like we really did a great job here with this. And again, I kind of don't want to show off too many images from this one. I want people to be surprised. I know it's tough to sell a book sight unseen, and I've put a few images up in the past from this issue, but honestly, check out the Family Jewels, the issue 7, then issue 8, which is Temptation Eyes, and issue 9 in the final hours to get the whole story. And if you check my website, the link is in the description below. You can find the free preview section we've got there. As a matter of fact, I think I've got this tab open. Let's go straight to the website, shall we? And you will see for yourself. Okay. See, I try to do this all the time and it never works. Live television, folks. Let's see. I tried to do this famously on Peter Samedi's show and it didn't work. Let me see if I can get another tab up there. Yeah, it worked. Hey, hooray. Yeah. All right, so you go to my website. We've updated it a little bit. I tentatively updating it, but I'm doing it very slowly. Got a lot of stuff to do. We got an image at the top. The links weren't working. They should all be working now, but if they don't work for you, just keep pulling the page down and it should work. You can find everything you need at your fingertips right here on Indie Planet. That's where you can find my books. I've got like a print campaign going where in the alternate issues, one has already come out, a Mighty Mascots number 6. You'll find an ad for Bullets Bourbon comics. I want to see if I can spread them out a little more as the coming months approach. I've got another one for Peter's next campaign, the spring campaign. So I believe it's in Unit 44, the upcoming issue of Unit 44. You'll see some more ads from yours truly and the Bullets Bourbon universe, hopefully reaching more people as we continue to try to spread the message of The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. It's an all-ages action-adventure extravaganza about an down-on-his-luck private eye who takes on the most colorful collection of villains imaginable in each and every action-packed issue. In this storyline, as I was saying, let me bring this up here and show you the free preview. Take a look at the free preview page. In this story, Carrot Top returns. Of course, Carrot Top being Bullet's main nemesis. He is the villain that he always seems to get away, and Bullets cannot apprehend him. Now, in this issue, in this storyline, Bullets has had his fill, and he becomes obsessed with capturing Carrot Top. Carrot Top, for his part, has joined his father's gang, the Honorable Don Parsnip Top, and he is the Don of the Vegetable Garden Gang, and they're trying to find a priceless statuette that is the cause of a gang war between the Vegetable Garden Gang and their closest rivals, the Fruit Salad Mob, led by Adam Apple. While this goes on and the factions are at war, Carrot Top's femme fatale Veronica shows up, Veronica Sinclair, and she's a very compelling character. She is working for Carrot Top sort of by necessity, and she is very desirous of her freedom, but she has a debt that places her in the favor of Carrot Top. And he, unfortunately, is not the best boss in the world to have to work for, as she finds out. Will she betray Carrot Top to Bullets Bourbon so that he can finally bring him to justice? Will she be actually playing the Delilah role here and actually capture Bullets at his weakest for Carrot Top so that he may finally vanquish his age-old adversary? And of course, here is some of the action where you see the Vegetable Garden Gang going up against the Fruit Salad Mob. Lots of action and excitement as you like it. And that is my latest catchphrase. Indie comics as you like them. That's exactly what we do. They're not woke. They're not trying to check boxes and appeal to every demographic. And we're just doing plain, straightforward stories of good versus evil, heroism versus villainy, and the good guys win, at least most of the time. In the final hours is, we're touting it as possibly the last episode because Bullets has sworn to defeat Carrot Top or die trying. So we're going to at least go with the pretense that this may be the last issue. Of course, you'll have to find out for yourself when the next issue comes out. While we're here, I also want to draw your attention. We mentioned a little bit earlier, Mighty Mascots. Of course, the mighty Keith Gleason and his Plastic City Comic-Con is the only place to see yours truly this year on the Johnny Torch 2022 I'll Be Back New England Comic-Con tour. We're calling it I'll Be Back because, quite frankly, this is the only gig I have booked this year. I love doing 2 or 3 cons a year. That's sort of my bread and butter, and I love meeting the fans, and that's my favorite part of the job. Unfortunately, with all the stuff that went on the past 2 years, I'm not going to put myself through that, and the ups and downs, and you've got to wear the thing if you want to be in the con, or you have to get the thing if you want to be in the con. I'm not going to play those games. I am not going to join up and then have to lose money on it because my principles won't allow me to play that game. So as far as I know, I'm still signed up, of course, for this con. As far as I know, it's still going to go off without a hitch, without any mask requirements or shot requirements or this or that. So we are going to tentatively be there. And you will find us, let's see, on Saturday, July 16th at the Wallace Civic Center, 1000 John Finch Highway, Fitchburg, Mass, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. I'm excited to get back on the saddle again. I haven't been at a con in 2 years, or over 2 years at this point, and I've never been to Plastic City, so I'm really excited about seeing how it is. It's really supposed to be an old school, really focusing on the comic convention. And of course, like I said, Keith Gleason is a great guy. We advertised in the most recent Mighty Mascots. Mighty Mascots, great comic. Of course, Alterna will be there. Peter Simeti will be there. I think Frankie B. Washington, a lot of the Alterna artists will be there. So it'll be a great show, and hope to see you there. Come on out for the show. And like I said, it probably will be my only appearance this year. I may line up another flea market appearance or two. They weren't wildly popular last year, so that's that's not a given. So if you really want to see yours truly, this is probably the only way you're going to do it. All right, so thank you for that. We will continue on with the show, but let me first admonish you to check the link in the description, check out our website, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and of course, do all the YouTube things that you know and love. We've got the first story. Now, this is kind of interesting. Let's see. The Obi Wan trailer. Now, this is the second trailer. It came out I think a week ago. I'm not sure, but this is the second trailer. I don't have any images from it because, quite honestly, it's much the same. The end of the trailer has sort of a brief glimpse at Darth Vader. You see his costume, so to speak, his robot appendages being reattached to his chassis, so to speak. That was new. That was the only thing that was new. We also have the appearance of Uncle Owen. Uncle Owen is there, and a line that I think everybody loves is, Obi Wan says, the boy must be trained when he gets older, and Uncle Owen is like you trained his father. So that's what I really am hoping for here. I really want to see the relationship between Obi Wan and Owen. That's something that was hinted at very strongly. This contentious relationship between Obi Wan and Owen, and I was disappointed in Clone Wars most of all because of that. Excuse me, Attack of the Clones. I was really hoping that they were going to delve deeply into that relationship, Obi-Wan and Owen, but they basically didn't even look at each other in that film. And I guess I understand that, they didn't look at each other in Revenge of the Sith, but I guess there was no time for it in Attack of the Clones, with the pace being... the Attack of the Clones really is not the best paced film for Star Wars. I think George realized that, and that's why he put the factory scene in to sort of give us another action scene, because it really is sort of like a love story with a backdrop of a mystery. And that it worked in increments, so to speak, but I would have preferred if there was going to be some time spent, it would have been on Obi-Wan and Anakin. Obi-Wan and Owen's relationship. And of course, in Revenge of the Sith, they just sort of iris out on Obi-Wan giving the young Luke infant to Beru. I said this before when I was reviewing the first trailer. I think what's probably going to happen is they're going to focus on everything but what I hope they'll focus on, which is Obi-Wan and Owen, which is maybe some interaction between Luke and Obi-Wan, the interaction between Luke and Owen and Beru, maybe some interaction between Beru and Obi-Wan. This is kind of this is what I've dreamed of for 30 years or so, about wondering what's going on with the backstory. What are we probably going to see? We're going to see Reva's life story, and we're going to see all these Imperial bureaucrats that are putting together the Inquisitors and so forth. That's my greatest fear. And I'll be honest with you, I think, a lot of people are worried that having Darth Vader back in the movie, and he's probably going to have some kind of confrontation with Obi-Wan, that's I've said before, I don't think that's too far beyond the pale to go. I don't think that'll go, I don't think that'll go ruining the established timeline. But what I do hope is that they don't go out of their way to, sort of show Vader without the helmet. And because, of course, it's going to be Hayden Christensen. So, they're going to want to show that authenticity, that he's beneath the helmet. I don't know that I really need to see Vader unmasked before uh Obi-Wan. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I mean, we've never seen Anakin's face inside the mask until he takes it off in front of Luke, in front of, when Luke takes it off. So I think that would probably be the most poetic way to leave it, that it goes on, and of course it comes off. We see in Empire, we see the back of his head, but I'm saying we don't really see him off, with the mask off, talking and relating to people. And I don't think we need that. I personally wouldn't like that. So I mean, it's going to depend on how each person perceives it. Some people are probably going to accept it a little easier. Some people are not. I don't know. What This is the question I'll put to you. What do you think? What would totally ruin the Obi-Wan show for you, and what would make it the greatest thing since the wheel? We'll just pick the thing that would ruin it the most for you, and pick the thing that you definitely want to see, and that you've been waiting all this time to see in an Obi-Wan background story. Let me know in the comments below. So we have, what is it? How long is it now? 10 days, 9 days, 8 days, something like that, before the Obi-Wan show goes on. I have got Disney Plus again. I am going to watch it. I know everybody, the jangling the keys, the jangling the keys. If it entertains me, so much the better. If not, I'll just whine about it like everybody else does. You know, I'll be very honest with you. I'll be very frank. And if you want to come and whine along with me about how terrible it is, I'll love to listen to you. Or if it just out of sheer shock of, like, even a stopped clock being right twice a day, it might be good. If there's some possible way they can't screw this up, maybe, just maybe, it'll be worth it. There was some leaks coming out about it. I don't want to be spoiled, really, but apparently it don't look too good, according to the leaks. We'll have to wait and see. I'm not sure. I got the Disney Plus back again last night. I saw the first 2 episodes of Moon Knight, so you can expect my Moon Knight review video probably. I want to say probably by the end of the week. I think there was only like 6 episodes, right? So that's something that I'll probably be able to finish by Saturday or Sunday, and I could probably. It probably won't be a scripted video, because from what I see, it's not to you know blow the whole wad on just a 2-second review right here, but it looks pretty fun. I mean, it looks pretty inventive, the first 2 episodes anyway. So we'll see how it goes from there, and then you can probably expect my Moon Knight review on the weekend. All right, so let me know what you think about Obi-Wan Kenobi the series. Hopefully it lives up to the hype. Of course, this is the new costume. I kind of understand, I guess, especially if he doesn't want to be he doesn't want to be spotted as a Jedi. He's not going to wear the traditional robes, but it still looks in keeping with the Jedi aesthetic, so to speak. So yeah, it looks pretty cool. All right, let's see. All right, so coming up next, let's talk about the She Hulk trailer everybody is talking about. Uh, yeah, more or less the diagnosis that everybody has given to this is that the CGI does not look good. And I won't deny that. I won't debate that. I know it doesn't look that great. My feeling on it is, though, it does look like She-Hulk. I mean, I knew from the jump that when you try to get like an average sized woman, and what is an average size? Well, like 5'6" or something, and you try to CGI her up to be big and green, being like 6'10" or whatever She Hulk is, and you know it's not going to really work like you want it to. A lot of people say, well, they can do Thanos, they can do Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. It's difficult because the She Hulk is supposed to be attractive. When you're doing the Hulk, when you're doing Thanos, you're basically taking like a little. I don't know if you could. We'll use the cursor here, so you're basically taking this little bit around the face and sticking it on a big hunk of ham, and this big bruiser body, and you expect it to look unrealistic. I was going to say ridiculous, but let's not use that word. But you expect it. It's just a little face on a huge head with massive shoulders and muscles and you know biceps to spare and everything. When it comes to doing She-Hulk, she just has to be a taller, slightly more, she's not even very muscle bound, a slightly more muscular, taller woman. And to do that is not as easy as you think in CGI. Now, with the money that the Disney company has to spend, yeah, they should be doing better than this. That's why I ain't gonna fight you on this. It should look better. But I don't think this is a deal breaker for me. I can't say that this is like so bad that, you know, it's going to sink the ship. I don't know. I can kind of hang with it. Uh, like I said, it does look like the She-Hulk. Her hair looks the same. Her physical attributes, so to speak, look very much the same. This is her in an action scene here, the physicality. And again, like I said, that's basically what it is. It's tough. Now, a lot of people are saying they should have just got an athlete, a female professional athlete who is tall, like a basketball player, or, that's got some musculature, and just, used her as the other half of the equation, sort of like a Bill Bigsby, Lou Ferrigno. But they're going to want to do it in CGI because they're doing the Mark Ruffalo version in CGI. So they want to have, I'm going to butcher this lady's name, Tasliana Mislaney. Again, I'm not sure what her name is, but they're going to want her face on this. Let me see if I can pronounce this right. Let me look at the copy. Of course, in the copy, I don't have her name here. Why would it have cut off her name? I got two different paragraphs here, too, and I can't find her name in either one of them. But, of course, I'm pretty sure you know the actress. All right, so, again, I don't know. They could probably have done a better job, but I don't have a problem with this, honestly. I don't really have a problem with this, and I think they're just trying to keep the actress's face on the actual character. Now, I've told you this many times, so I'm probably repeating myself to the diehards, all three of you who watch every show. But I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of the funny She-Hulk. I'm not a fan of the goofy She-Hulk. When I was a kid and I started getting into comics, She-Hulk was the savage She-Hulk, and she wasn't like as brainless as her cousin, the male counterpart Hulk. And the idea was that she managed to retain because her creation was different. She wasn't caught in the heart of a nuclear explosion. She had gamma radiated blood transfusion causing for her metamorphoses. But it allowed her to keep a segment of her persona. And again, I don't really have any of those old comics anymore, but the idea was that it sort of made her a little more on edge. She was a little more which is probably why they don't want to go back to that version, but sort of like she's a little cantankerous. She didn't suffer fools gladly, and sort of was just happy to tear something apart rather than, but she still had at least most of the mental capacity of Jennifer Walters as the She-Hulk. That was fine. That was a decent adaptation of what you would do to a female Hulk. Then the John Byrne series came out, and it's Deadpool. It was just breaking the fourth wall. And I've always, you probably heard this one a lot of times too. that I've referred to her as the Green Jane Mansfield. That basically they just made her this like sex symbol, and she was dating all the guys in Marvel and the most desirable woman in Marvel, and it's like, but she's supposed to be a superhero, and that's why I think a lot of people are afraid of what this is. This is going to become sort of like, oh, dare I say, Sex in the City or one of those shows, and it's just going to be like a complete comedy, a complete sitcom. I don't know that I need to see that with She Hulk, but apparently that's what we're going to get, and I think that's what a lot of people wanted. So even though it's not what I asked for, this is probably what most She Hulk fans were asking for. It's not going over real big, apparently, with fans, but I think it's the CGI that is causing the consternation. This scene seemed to go over well on Twitter. I don't know why. I mean, I've got to admit, I think probably being carried by a large green woman is probably maybe I don't know. I don't think I've ever considered it as an act of fantasy. So for you guys that are like thinking this is the greatest scene, good luck to you. I don't know. I mean, I hope you find someone who can accommodate you. But yeah, quite frankly, I don't get this. It seems very soy to me. But hey, I don't know. I mean, like I said, for every taste of flavor, this is maybe this will go down good. I'm probably gonna watch it because I'm a diehard Hulk fan. I'm not a fan of seeing the Smart Hulk is still around. I don't think I got an image of Mark Ruffalo's Smart Hulk or Professor Hulk or whatever name he has. I stopped reading it around that time in the comics. Like that was like, I want to say mid to late '80s, I think. Then they turned him into like the mindless Hulk, which is even worse. There's two things that you could do to ruin the Hulk, basically. One, you can make him completely mindless and complete savage and be a complete danger to everything and everyone. I hate when they do that. Hulk is a superhero. He's just not a he's a force that I think they kind of described it best in the Incredible Hulk movie, that you aim at the bad guys and he'll take care of it. But he's not a superhero in the sense of you put on the spandex and you go out and answer the Hulk single in the sky. And the other problem is if you make him intelligent, if you make him basically with Banner's brain, you really don't need the Hulk, right? I mean, why don't Banner just put on like in Infinity War, put on a Hulkbuster suit, let him go out there and do his thing? Or if he's, it's sort of like Ben Grimm. That's why I always had the problem with Joe Fixit. You want to make him something in the middle where he's not Banner's brain and he's not mindless Hulk. Then you give him Joe Fixit. He's basically Ben Grimm, but with like a 10 times worse attitude. It's the only Hulk really for me is the Savage Hulk. And I know they like to play with the different versions. And I never liked it when I was a kid. I never liked to see the Hulk. Again, let me get in my soapbox for a second. The Hulk is successful because he's a children's character. This is something else that nobody seems to put their finger on when they're discussing the Hulk. Batman, I always say Batman is a children's character where they have tried to interpret and expand upon the character where he is now nothing but grim and dark and angsty and moody and violent. The Hulk is not supposed to be any different in what Batman is, where Batman is supposed to appeal to children. He's supposed to be altruistic. He scares people, but he's a good guy and he wouldn't do anything to hurt a child. And it's the same thing with the Hulk, basically the same premise. He's scary. He scares the bad guys. He punishes the bad guys, but he's going to take care of the little woodland creatures. That's why Lou Ferrigno was so successful in that role, because there was the humanity there, the sensitivity. And, he cares for the little children, and little boy is lost. He's going to help them. And all that stuff appeals to the kids, but they don't want to stick with that because, like, oh, that's boring. We want to see the Hulk pound somebody into the pavement and be totally brutal, and we want to give him a wisecracking attitude and make him Joe Fix-It, where he's like a gangster or something. Or we want to make him smart because Banner is smart, so let's make him smart. That's not what appeals to kids. It didn't appeal to me when I was a kid, and that's what they were doing in the comics when I was a kid. When I was a kid, it was a smart Hulk, and it was brainless Hulk, where he was just some meatloaf running around the universe smashing up things. And then he came back to Earth and I think became the Joe Fix-It, which, like I said, but by then I was like a teenager, and I was like, what the hell is this? So, one way or the other, they can't seem to get the Hulk right. And it's because they don't stick with that spirit, the spirit of the Hulk being a child. And that's why kids can identify with the Hulk, because, the Hulk is hounded. That's the way he should be. He's hounded. The authorities are always after him. And, what kid can't empathize with that? They can empathize with the fact that you got to go to bed when you don't want to. You got to go to school. You got to go, take out the trash or whatever you're supposed to do. And the feeling of the Hulk, he is put upon that he can't just live his life and be happy, but he has that freedom. It's wish fulfillment, where he just goes to town, takes out everybody that bothers him, and tries to put him in a box. And and it's great. It's cathartic. And that's what I think the kids respond to. But they don't ever stick with that. They're always trying to make him something else. And Marvel, the MCU, haven't really done right by him either in this respect. So, it started off well. I still say The Incredible Hulk is probably my favorite MCU movie because they really did justice to him in that movie. The original Avengers film, the 2012 Avengers, I thought did very well, up to the point where Banner just changes. It's the same thing at the end of The Incredible Hulk. Oh, he's mastering it now. He's changing on his own, under his own power. They always got to throw these little tidbits about they can, where we get Banner to where he can change on his own. But that notwithstanding, those were pretty good in interpretations. I still say Ragnarok wasn't bad either, because you finally had him speaking. You had him at sort of maybe a third grade, maybe a 3-year-old level or something. That's where the Hulk should be. Hulk should be sort of like every 3-year-old every 3-year-old mentality that's ever lived. All right, so there we go. That was my soapbox for The Incredible Hulk. And here's a couple of other tidbits. Of course, we got Blonsky back, Emil Blonsky. They got Tim Roth back as Blonsky. And let's see. I'll read the copy here. Let's take a look. She-Hulk, this is the synopsis. She-Hulk Attorney at Law, which is the official title now. It's called She-Hulk Attorney at Law, follows Jennifer Walters as she navigates the complicated life of a single 30-something attorney who also happens to be green, 6'7" superpowered Hulk. The 9-episode series welcomes a host of MCU vets, including Mark Ruffalo as Smart Hulk, Tim Roth as Emil Blonsky, the Abomination, which the Abomination will be back, and Benedict Wong as Wong, which I still am aggravated that they made him the Sorcerer Supreme still. I mean, he's a sub. He's a temp. Why doesn't he give the honor back to Strange? I mean, Strange only had it for like 2 movies. Why can't, he comes back, he gets the title back. I don't understand why they can't do that. I mean, Cumberbatch is not going to be Strange forever. What is he going to be? The Sorcerer Supreme for 2 movies out of the 8 appearances he's going to make before his contract's over? I don't know. The cast also includes Ginger Gonzaga, Josh Segura, Jamil, John Bass, and Renee Elsie Goldsberry. Executive producers are Kevin Feige, Louis D'Esposito, Victoria Alonso, Brad Winderbaum. We don't need to know all these names. Let's see. The trailer confirms that the previously leaked premiere date of August 17th is correct. So this will be out August 17th. And let me know what you think here. What do you think about the She Hulk? Is this something you're interested in? Is this something you're wild about? The final picture here, of course, we got Frogman. Of course, he looks very Power Rangers-ish. I think this is going to be like a gag because Frogman was supposed to be fat. He was like really fat. I remember him when I was a kid in the comics as well. He was sort of like a gag character for Spider-Man. But it's interesting that they didn't forget about him. They all find their way somewhere into these Marvel shows. Ain't that the truth? All right, so let me know what you think in the comments below about the sensational She Hulk, attorney at law. And of course, everybody's hoping Daredevil's going to be in it. And because Matt Murdock, of course, is also a lawyer. I think that's kind of what they're going to do with Daredevil for the time being before they actually put him in his own show. Or I don't know if it's going to be a new show or if they're going to call it season 4. But they're going to just probably have him bounce from appearance to appearance. Like in the next show we're about to talk about, which is Echo. Now, to be honest with you, I don't know why Echo is getting a show other than people are expecting to see Kingpin again, because I think she apparently killed Kingpin at the end of Hawkeye. And, of course, Daredevil's main enemy is Kingpin, and so that maybe he'll show up. It probably would make sense for him to show up. I mean, I don't really know. I'm not that excited. I don't know this character really in the comics. I never read this character in the comics. So, again, you got me. If this is a popular character in the comics, I have no idea. Let's see. Marvel Studios announced that production is officially underway in Atlanta on Echo, confirming the series will premiere on Disney Plus in 2023. The show will see Alaqua Cox return as the unforgiving Maya Lopez, who made her MCU debut, and Hawkeye as the Def Gang leader, determined to make Ronan, aka Clint Barton, pay for his own vengeful deeds. It's said that the origin story of Echo revisits Maya Lopez, whose ruthless behavior in New York City catches up with her in her hometown. She must face her past, reconnect with her Native American roots, and embrace the meaning of family and community if she ever hopes to move forward. Again, this really doesn't mean anything to me. I mean, all right, so they're going to have a deaf hero. That's fine. I mean, great, wonderful. This character really isn't. She's not on the level of Daredevil or something. They really are better suited to have her move along in her in a guest capacity before giving her her own show. It's also been revealed that Echo will star Chasky Spencer. I don't know if I'm pronouncing any of these names right. Tantu Cardinal, Devery Jacobs, and Cody Lightning, with Graham Greene and Zahn McLaren. There's currently no word on who anyone is playing. So let me know what you think here. Is this something you would like to see? The Echo series? Or do you think like I do? I don't know this character, and perhaps she'd be better served being a guest appearance in other people's shows for the time being. All right. All right, this is something that freaked me out. I don't know. If you got a weak stomach, you might want to turn away for the next, 5-10 minutes. We'll see. This kind of freaked me out when I seen it today. This is apparently the first scene of the new Velma show. Velma as in Scooby-Doo. Now, I don't know why they're doing this. I don't know why we need a Velma show. I don't know why we need an adult Velma show. And who asked for this? Who asked for a race-changed, adult, no Scooby-Doo, no Scooby Gang Velma show? Well, whoever asked for it, you're getting it, I guess. And it says here, Mindy Kaling shares the first look of her upcoming HBO Max animated series, Velma. This image makes clear that Velma will be of South Asian heritage in the new series. Hopefully you noticed my Velma is South Asian, Kaling told the crowd. If people freak out about that, I don't care. Well, isn't that nice of you? that you adapt a character and basically make it a self-insert, and you don't have any care about the history of the character or any of the fans of the character, or you know, just in general having some fidelity to the source material. Who asked for this? HBO Max announced the development of Velma last year, describing it as an original, humorous spin that unmasks the complex and colorful past of one of America's most beloved mystery solvers. Now, of course, what everybody's going to notice here and pay attention to is, beyond this gory looking image, is this supposed to be Daphne? I surely hope not. They're going to do my Daphne like that. Of course, I would say Daphne was like my first crush when I was watching this show when I was like 3, 4 years old. And I don't know if I want to see this. I don't want to see them doing all this to my Daphne. And it's really sad. It's really scary. Again, why do you need to take a children's property? And they're doing this with Harley Quinn. They do this to a large extent. DC does this with, Batman, the Joker. They try to go way too far into like adult territory with characters that were created for children. You don't need these characters to grow up with you. They were never intended to grow up with you. They were intended to be children's entertainment. You should leave them at that. I don't know why they would do this. I don't know who wants this. I don't know. As a kid, I probably would be scarred if I ever seen this. And I don't know. Hopefully it'll fail, and we'll just go back to like maybe the 517th reiteration of Scooby-Doo on the Cartoon Network or whatever. Sadly, I think Scooby-Doo is the only Hanna-Barbera show that still perpetually gets renewed. They'll still bring it back as something because it's so popular. It was popular when I was a kid. It was popular before I was born, and it's popular now. And I'm happy to see Scooby-Doo still being that popular, that they're going to bring back these kinds of characters repetitiously. I don't want to see them brought back like this, though. And it's very troubling to me. All right, let me know what you think in the comments below about Velma, the strange adult version where Velma's a Southern Asian that goes around solving crimes on her own with ghastly, dead bodies and stuff. I don't know. I don't know who thinks these things up. Ah, man. All right, so I apparently did not have this queued up, so let me take just a couple seconds here while you talk amongst yourselves to find the next image. All right, here it is. Now, last time we talked to you on Torch News Roundup number 261, we told you about the Wonder Twins movie. Yeah, everybody wanted to see the Wonder Twins, right? Maybe. Well, KJ Apa and Isabel May are now going to be out of a job before they even had one. Wonder Twin powers deactivated. The movie's not going forward. The DC-based future feature project, which has no future, would have begun production in early July. It has been shelved according to multiple sources. The project was being developed as a feature for HBO Max, and Riverdale star KJ Apa and 1883 actress Isabel May on board to star. Adam Strelitzky, who worked on the script for Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam, wrote the Wonder Twins script and was due to direct. Sources say the decision to shut down the project occurred several weeks ago. According to insiders, leadership of Warner Brothers Discovery, the new company combining Discovery and Warner Brothers, and now being led by CEO David Zaslav, is imposing a mandate that DC movies should now be made with a theatrical first goal. Wonder Twins, the way it had been conceived, was too niche, said one source. A lot of things that were developed are going to go away, said another insider, referring to the broader scrutiny that is coming to the slates of many Warner Brothers divisions, including film. Of course, this hatchet job that Zaslav is responsible for the deaths of Batwoman, Legends of Tomorrow, and many other projects apparently that were going to go forward. Wonder Twins were a pair of alien siblings named Zan and Jaina. They imprinted on a generation of television viewers thanks to their introduction on Hanna-Barbera's The All-New Super Friends Hour as young companions to heroes such as Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman. The duo then appeared in the Super Friends comic and over time became incorporated into the larger DC universe. That hashtag show first reported the news of the project shutdown May 1st, which a Warner Brothers spokesperson denied at the time. All right, so I don't know. I honestly, I don't know what they were going to do with this, but I do kind of feel bad. I mean, maybe this would have been good. I don't know. It's like one of those things that I kind of feel like I could see if they, we're talking about all the crazy stuff they're doing with She Hulk and just like the broad comedy and stuff. Maybe a broad comedy take of the Wonder Twins would have been good. You know what I mean? That's something you could do that with if you want to do broad comedy. You do it with the Wonder Twins. You do it with something like that. I don't know. But apparently, this is going bye-bye. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you upset to see the Wonder Twins go? Are you upset to see KJ and Isabel leaving this proposed film? All right, and finally, our final story of the evening. Before I let you go back off into your meaningful lives, we have the great legendary Stan Lee apparently is going to return. Stan Lee is going to return to the MCU with a new deal brokered to license his likeness. Now, I got to be honest with you. I know, I just know for a fact, once this news is out all over the place, a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this is terrible. This is terrifying. You know, like they did with Rogue One with Carrie Fisher, and I think Carrie was live at the time, wasn't she, when they did that? She signed off on that, I guess, but Peter Cushing, and they're like, oh, you can't do this. You can't bring somebody's image back from the grave and this and that. I honestly miss Stan Lee cameos. I was there in the Multiverse of Madness screening, and I was watching, and I'm like, gee, wouldn't it be great if they did something with Stan here? I miss the Stan cameos. Now, I mean, you could go too far with trying to recreate his likeness, maybe. I hope it will be done tastefully like it always was. But I would like to see him. And Stan would love doing this. He would like to keep having his face shown in these films and TV shows. I mean, come on. You can't tell me he would have objected to this. But I have a feeling, we're going to have a lot of naysayers about this. But I miss Stan. I want to see him, if it's at all possible in some kind of tasteful way. Let's see. The copy. It sounds like legendary Stan Lee's MCU cameos may soon return as Marvel Studios has struck a deal to use the late comic book creator's name and likeness in further feature films. Say that 3 times fast. Further feature films, television productions, Disney theme parks, various experiences, quote unquote, and merchandising. The Hollywood Reporter reports that Marvel has signed a 20-year deal. 20 years they got him for. 20 years. He'd be like 120 probably at that point. With Genius Brands International and POW Entertainment to essentially resurrect, quote unquote, that's a cheap line, the man using CGI and old footage. It really ensures that Stan, through digital technology and archival footage in other forms, will live in the most important venue, the Marvel movies and Disney theme parks, said Andy Hayward, chairman and CEO of Genius Brands. It's a broad deal. The audience revered Stan, and if it's done with taste and class and respectful of who he was, it will be welcomed, he added. Very important. His beloved personality, and long after you and I are gone, he will remain the essence of Marvel. For many, taste and class will already be out the window here, though the trade does note that this deal does not necessarily pave the way for the return of Lee cameos in movies. It's probably only a matter of time. For now, Marvel has permission to use Lee's name, voice, likeness, and signature in movies and television projects, along with images, existing footage, and audio recordings. So what does that mean? They're not they're not going to let them make a digital Stan Lee yet. They will. It's just a matter of time, right? So yeah, like I said, I'm all for it if they can do something tasteful and something with class. You got to have class. You know what I'm saying? You got to have class. So what do you think? Let me know what you think in the comments below. You looking forward to seeing Stan the Man Lee back on the silver screen? Are you hoping that maybe they'll make him an ongoing character in something? I don't know. It's anyone's guess how this will go, but at least we'll still have the spirit of Stan live on in his creations, his greatest creations. So that's going to take us to the end of another broadcast number 219, Torch News Roundup number 262. Thank you for being here. God love you for joining us. When you do, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed anything we talked about, and please leave a comment. Not enough of them lately. We lost one sub, and we've gotten so many subs over the last year that I don't want to feel like I'm taking you guys for granted. The sub count kind of slowed down all of a sudden, and then we lost one. So please make sure you like, share, subscribe, hit the bell, and make sure you share, because let everyone know how great the Torch News Roundup is. All the Johnny Torch reviews. We got more stuff on tap. We got stuff coming up. We just did the Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness review. Please check that out if you haven't. Had a lot of fun going over that one. We're going to do a Moon Knight review, I'm sure, by the time I'm through watching Moon Knight. We'll talk Obi Wan series when that's over with. And again, I come from a different place when I talk about these things. I'm no nonsense. I'm not coming at you with an agenda. I'm not going to say, don't watch these shows, hate these shows, the MCU. On the other hand, though, I'm not part of the clique. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say, oh, everything is so wonderful with each and every show. Some of these things are going to be bad. Some of them are bad. And you got to call them out and say, this stuff stinks. Don't watch it. Or if you're going to watch it, make sure everybody knows how bad it is. I kind of feel that way about Batman. The Batman, I should say. I boycotted that one. I'm tired of what they're doing with Batman. I said, no mas. You know what I mean? You got to put your foot down and say no mas. Other shows, I'm going to give a chance. I mean, I don't know how bad Moon Knight's going to get, but I'm going to give it every opportunity. The first 2 episodes I loved. Is it going to get worse? Probably, but we'll see. The Obi Wan show, is it too much to ask that they actually do right by Star Wars for the first time since Rogue One? Well, maybe that's not fair. Let's say The Mandalorian. I don't know which one came out first. I guess it was Rogue One, right? So the most recent one's probably The Mandalorian. They haven't done really anything that great since then. Let's hope. Let's see if this comes to pass. They've got all the heavy hitters involved. They've got Ewan and Hayden, and I want to be hopeful about the situation. But I mean, if that's what you want to, if that's what you believe and you want to be open-minded about these things, you don't want to just completely dismiss them out of hand. You want to pat them on the back when they're right. You want to kick them in the butt when they're wrong. I'm the guy for you. I'll be your Huckleberry. We'll make beautiful music together. So make sure you subscribe and keep check on what we're doing in the near future. We're going to be talking about the next issue of Bullets Bourbon very soon. I'm about halfway done. I don't want to say I'm halfway done, because I'll still go back and tweak things and fix things. So to say I'm halfway done is probably not entirely correct at this point. But we haven't talked much about the next issue coming out, the new issue, the new story. And I want to hype that pretty soon. But again, like I said, make sure you check out The Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye, issue 9. That's our most recent issue that's out. And we're going to be doing, I think it'll be the debut of this issue at that point. But we also are going to have the whole story arc. Family Jewels, Temptation Eyes, and In the Final Hours. All there for you, for your perusal. We also will have, I'm going to try to sell my back catalog very cheaply. I want to sell it out. I don't want to have to lug all these comics. And of course, they're remastered now. So the ones that are like before they were remastered, I kind of just want to sell them off. So you're going to get a really good deal on the early issues. And, hopefully that'll, get you involved and get you invested. You know what I mean? Kind of the gateway drug, so to speak, the early ones, if I can sell them on the cheap. And then you'll be hopefully more inclined to check out the remastered, recolored, relettered, taking out the spelling errors that embarrassed me after the fact. Those will all be there as well for the dedicated collector. But again, for the dedicated collector, though, some of those old issues, they're not coming back. They're going away. So if you want an original edition of the first issue, only got about 5 left. You have to get there early and make sure you pick them up. I've got a pretty good stock of the other issues 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Uh, I probably got under 20 of them, but probably in the upper part of the teens, I have a number of those issues. So you still got a chance to get some of those back issues, and hopefully the collectability will be there for you because, like I said, we're not going to produce those original issues anymore. It's print on demand, so you really have, I can print them as long as I want, but I elected to stop printing those first 6 issues at this point. So you can only get the first 3 stories in trades, and of course, we still have the new issues out for the Family Jewels arc. One more thing I want to say before we go. I am also interested in another area that I want to start doing pretty soon. I want to do some tutorials because I've done some color streams where I'm coloring and just gabbing with everybody on stream. But I want to do a tutorial where I make them relatively quick because I always prize when I'm trying to figure out how to do something. I prize how-to videos. Someone that's going to get me like under 10 minutes. How do I do this? Now, I'm not sure how long these videos will be. Maybe I'll do like one covering all aspects of comic creation. Now, I know I have done this during live streams. I just show you, oh, yeah, I'm doing this now, I'm doing that now. But I want to make this concise and just walk you through the process. And, if you're a fledgling comic book creator, if you want to learn how to do drawing, inking, coloring, lettering the way I do it, I can't promise you that's the way everybody does it, but the way I do it, I can show you, and I can make it as concise as possible. Maybe we'll just focus on one thing at a time. We'll do 10 minutes on coloring. We'll do 10 minutes on inking. But those guys are a godsend that make those videos and make it very easy for me. So I want to give back. I want to make it easy for you guys if you are comic book creators and you're looking for a way to do it yourself, to do it as easy as possible. And of course, I do everything myself in my comics, with the exception of the creating the PDF. So I want to pass along the love, the knowledge, the know-how that I've accumulated over these past 10 years. It's 10 years we've been working on Bullets Bourbon Comics. And of course, when you're a creator of comics, you can refer to yourself in the third person. I just got through saying I do it all myself, but we in the grand sense, So yeah, please, if you haven't already, check out the Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. Remember that I'm going to be at Fitchburg, Mass for the Plastic City Con this year, unless there's some kind of major change in policy. I will be there July 16th in Fitchburg, Mass for Plastic City Comic Con. Be sure to come on by and press the flesh, as it were. You'll get my signature. My signature costs nothing. The book costs a little more. But come on down and check us out. We'll be happy to see you and share the love of comics. And, of course, the Adventures of Bullets Bourbon Private Eye. So, until next we meet, this is Johnny Torch reminding you once again, keep the flame burning brightly, and I'll be with you again real soon.